Imagine a sleek black jet slicing through the night sky over the Nevada desert, its engines a-low. Predatory growl. Suddenly, without warning, it rolls inverted, dives straight toward the Earth at Mach 1.5, pulling up at the last possible second mere feet from annihilation. No pilot inside, no hands-on. The controls, just cold, unblinking artificial intelligence making split-second decisions that would turn any humans stomach to ice. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. And it's rewriting the rules of aerial warfare. Buckle up, because the machine that's outsmarting our best pilots is already here, and it's American. Picture the scene back in 1947. Captain Chuck Yeager straps into the Bell X-1, a bullet-shaped rocket plane that looks more like a bomb than an aircraft. The world holds its breath as he punches through the sound barrier, for the first time, shattering the myth of the invisible wall at 760 miles per hour. That moment birthed the jet age, a golden era where American ingenuity ruled the skies. Pilots became legends, aces like Robin Olds, who downed for MiGs in a single day over Vietnam, or the Thunderbirds, twisting F-16s into impossible knots for roaring crowds. These were flesh and blood heroes, pushing G-forces that crushed lesser men. Their instincts honed by thousands of hours in the cockpit. But heroes age, they tire, they make mistakes. And in the unforgiving arena of modern combat, one mistake means a smoking hole in the ground. Fast forward to the scorching runways of Edwards Air Force Base, where the ghosts of Yeager still linger. It's 2019, and the X-6 Vista takes its first autonomous flight. This isn't just any testbed, it's an F-16 Fighting Falcon, the workhorse that's flown 28,000 combat missions since the 1970s, reimagined with a brain that doesn't need a heartbeat. Engineers at Calspan and the Air Force Research Laboratory have crammed it with 43 million lines of code, neural networks that learn like a child on steroids, and actuators that mimic every twitch of a human pilot's hand. On that historic day, it flies a full combat training mission loops, rolls simulated dogfights without a single human touch. The ground control team watches in stunned silence as the jet anticipates maneuvers, corrects for wind shear, and executes barrel rolls with precision that defies physics. Most people don't know this, but it wasn't programmed for every scenario. It learned them, adapting in real time like a predator evolving mid-hunt. To understand why this jet is smarter than any human pilot, we have to peel back the layers of what makes a fighter ace tick. Human pilots rely on the Mark I eyeball, muscle memory, and that gut instinct forged in the fire of training. But the brain is a sloppy processor. Reaction time averages to 150 milliseconds under stress, dropping further with fatigue or G-induced blackout. In a dogfight, where threats close at 1,000 feet per second, those milliseconds are eternity. Enter the AI, zero latency, infinite stamina, processing sensor data from radar, infrared, electronic warfare suites at speeds that make supercomputers blush. The X-6 doesn't flinch at 9 gigaseconds. It doesn't second-guess. It predicts enemy moves by analyzing patterns in milliseconds. Your MiG-29 brake turn? It's already countered 3 moves ahead. Let's dive deeper into the tech that makes this possible. At its core is the Autonomous Air Combat Operations AACO system, a beast of machine learning algorithms trained on petabytes of flight data. Think of it as AlphaGo. For the skies, the same tech that crushed humanity at Go by simulating billions of games. Engineers fed it decades of red flag exercises, those massive mock battles in the Nevada desert, where blue team Americans square off against aggressor squadrons mimicking Russians and Chinese. The AI ingests radar tracks, missile locks, jamming signals, even pilot chatter. Then it spars against itself in virtual arenas, evolving strategies overnight that would take humans years. By 2023, during Project Venom, it went head-to-head with manned F-16s piloted by USAF aggressors. The humans, some with 3,000 hours in type, got smoked. The AI jet forced kills in under 90 seconds, pulling maneuvers like a high-probability snap-roll reversal that no human body could survive without a G-suit miracle. But this isn't just about speed, it's about smarts that border on eerie intuition. Humans see the world through a narrow cone, forward-facing eyes, limited peripheral vision, and a brain that filters out 99% of incoming data to avoid overload. The X-62A, it's got 360-degree situational awareness via distributed aperture systems, cameras and sensors feeding a God's eye view into its neural net. It fuses data from AESA radars that paint targets at 200 miles, electro-optical pods spotting stealth shapes against starry skies, and AI-driven threat libraries updated via satellite link. Imagine facing it. You're lining up a shot, but it's already ghosted your missile with chaff, jammed your radar, and flipped behind you for the kill, all while calculating fuel burn, structural stress, and optimal egress routes. Pilots who've flown against it call it unfair. One aggressor squadron commander admitted after a sim run, "It knew what I was going to do before I did." The roots of this revolution stretch back further than you might think, tangled in the Cold War's shadow games. In the 1960s, as Vietnam exposed the limits of manned fighters, SAMs shredding B-52s, MiGs dancing beyond visual range, the Pentagon dreamed of drones. But early unmanned systems like the Ryan Firebee were dumb reconnaissance birds, pilotless but brainless, easily fooled by Soviet radars. The real leap came in the 1990s with DARPAS funding of autonomous control tech. By 2001, unmanned Predator drones were hunting Taliban from 25,000 feet, but still remote-controlled by joysticks in Nevada trailers, laggy, bandwidth-hungry, and vulnerable to jamming. Iraq and Afghanistan accelerated the push. Over 7 million flight hours logged by MQ-9 Reapers, proving drones could loiter for 27 hours, strike with Hellfire precision, and survive where F-15s feared to tread. Geopolitics lit the fuse. China's J-20 stealth jet and Russia's Su-57 hypersonic missiles forced America's hand. By 2016, the Air Force's loyal wingman concept emerged. Semi-autonomous drones swarming alongside F-35s, multiplying firepower without multiplying pilots. The XQ-58 Valkyria, Boeing's low-cost attritable drone, flew formation with F-35s in 2020, responding to voice commands and laser cues like a trained falcon. But the X-62A took it nuclear full autonomy in contested airspace. No data link needed, no GPS, which China could jam. It navigates by terrain mapping, inertial nav, and visual odometry, shrugging off electronic warfare that would blind a human wingman. The money trail tells the story. $1.5 billion poured into Skyborg, DARPA's AI aviation program, birthing collaborative combat aircraft that think independently, yet mesh seamlessly with manned jets. Now, let's talk rivalries, the cutthroat race that's pushing this tech to godlike levels. China isn't sleeping. Their GJ-11 Sharp Sword stealth drone packs AI for autonomous strikes. Tested in South China Sea patrols that unnerve Taiwan. Russia counters with the S-70 Okhotnik, a flying robot that flew man-to-man teaming with Su-57s in 2023. But America's edge, computational muscle. Our AI leverages quantum-inspired annealing from D-Wave systems, optimizing flight paths across variables humans can't fathom, weather microbursts, enemy drone swarms, cyber intrusions. A leaked RAND report estimates AI-piloted jets could achieve 10-to-1 kill ratios against peer foes, slashing sortie costs from $44,000 per F-35R to under $5,000 for attritables. Hidden facts emerge when you dig into classified corners. Most don't know about the 2020 Black Flag exercise, where X-62A prototypes faced off against live-fire threats. It detected a pop-up SA-20 SAM battery 120 miles out, executed a terrain-masking pop-up maneuver, and neutralized it with simulated AGM-158 JASS Emmers, all while evading the Su-35 aggressors. Or the ghost tape anomaly. During night ops, the AI hallucinated a non-existent bogey, traced it to a sensor glitch, self-corrected mid-flight, and resumed mission. Humans call this pilot error. Machines call it evolution. Power dynamics shift here. Pilots' unions at bases like Nellis whisper of obsolescence, but brass sees salvation. With pilot shortages hitting 2,000 vacancies, AI fills cockpits without coffee breaks. If this is already blowing your mind seeing how a jet can outthink the aces who redefined American air power, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It really helps the channel share these game-changing stories. Tension builds as we confront the black swan events that birthed this necessity. Remember MH370? That Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777 vanished in 2014. Its transponders silenced, flying on autopilot for 7 hours into oblivion. Investigators pieced together a ghost flight. But what if AI had been at the controls? The X6-AS redundancy layers triple-voted flight computers. Self-healing software would have detected anomalies, rerouted to Diego Garcia, and beamed black box data live. Commercial spin-offs loom. Boeing's acquisition of liquid-cooled AI chips promises 787s that fly themselves through turbulence, slashing fuel burn by 20% via optimal routing. Yet danger lurks in the code. Adversarial AI attacks, where hackers inject noise into sensors, could make it veer into mountains. The 2018 Uber self-driving fatality echoed in Aviation Simsay. I misread shadows as lanes. Air Force mitigators counter with red teaming. Pitting offensive A is against the X-62A in Digital Thunderdome. Winds tilt 80-20 for the defender. But close calls reveal hubris. A 2020 Fergao report warned of automation complacency, where human overseers defer to machines. Blind to flaws, ethicists at RAND debate. If AI racks up 100 kills, who's accountable? The programmer in Silicon Valley? Money fuels the firestorm. Lockheed Martin's F-35 program hemorrhaged $1.7 trillion over decades. Each jet $1 trillion per unit money pit when life cycle costs tally. Contrast the X-6-A ecosystem, NGAD, the next-generation air dominance fighter. Integrates AI wingmen costing $20 million apiece, disposable scouts that absorb SAMs. While the mothership strikes, congressional budgets swelled to $28 billion for CCA collaborative combat aircraft in 2025. Pitting Boeing's MQ-28 Ghost Bat against General Atomics Gambit. Winners get contracts juicier than F-20 to sustainment. Losers fade like the F-20 Tiger Shark. Historical parallels chill the spine. The battleship dreadnoughts of 1905 and sinkable Titans died with carrier aviation's rise. Manned fighters face obsolescence against hypersonic swarms. China's DF-17 glider warheads scream at Mach 10, untouchable by Sidewinder. I counters with decision superiority, allocating drone packs to overwhelm. A wargame at the Air Force Wargaming Center simulated Taiwan Strait 2027. Blue Team AI fleets held the line. Manned Reds folded under saturation attacks. Surprise twist, the AI innovated a kamikaze net, sacrificing decoys to bait placed to 15 missiles, then counterpunching with lasers. Technology's evolution accelerates wildly. Quantum sensors on the horizon grant sub-micron accuracy, detecting stealth at 300 miles. Neuromorphic chips, mimicking brain synapses. SIP milliwatts versus kilowatts, enabling year-long loiter on solar cells. Fusion with biotech. DARPA's neural lace interfaces let pilots think commands to drone squads, blurring man-machine. Future impacts cascade. Air superiority cascades to sea and space. X-37B robotic shuttles already test AI spaceplanes, orbital wingmen zapping reconsats. Escalating further. Geopolitical chess intensifies. Iran's Shait drones swarmed Saudi oil fields in 2019. 25 cheap buzzing horrors overwhelming Patriot billions. America's response? Replicator initiative. Thousands of AI drones by 2026. Each smarter than the last. Russia's Ukraine quagmire exposed Su-35 fragility. AI could flip drone wars, turning Bayraktar TB to S into autonomous hunters. Power brokers in DC salivate, exporting God tech. To allies, lock in dollar hegemony as foes scramble for parity. Surprise revelation, the X-62A isn't alone. Classified Darkstar variants, rumored at Groom Lake. Pack directed energy weapons, frying electronics at light speed. Pilots who've glimpsed telemetry speak in awe of its predator gaze, locking 50 targets. Prioritizing by threat score, firing in symphony. Most shocking, it's already deployed overseas. Whispers from CENTCOM ops in Syria. AI jets ghosted ISIS convoys, zero collateral, untouchable. As dawn breaks over the Pacific, fleets of these jets reshape destiny. Taiwan Strait sims now end in stalemate. Not route AI swarms stalemating J-20 packs. Civilian skies transform. Urban air taxis from Joby. Aviation, I-piloted pods ferrying executives over LA gridlock. Insurance actuaries predict 90% crash reductions, but unions protest skies without souls. Emotional core hits home. The pilots. Colonel Jethro Hayes, ex-6-2A project lead, flew to 100 desert storm sorties. It scares me, he confided off record. This thing flies better than I ever did, feels no fear, no glory. Yet he trains alongside it. Hybrid teams where human intuition seeds AI hunches. Stories emerge. A test sortie where G-forces pinned engineers, but the jet danced flawless, saving a simulated wingman from mid-air collision. Future implications thunder. By 2030, Air Force Chief aims for 1,000 CCA letters. Man jets as quarterbacks calling drone plays. Economic ripple. Rust Belt factories churn. Composite wings. Silicon Valley code souls. Global South watches India's hell teammates with Boeing. Brazil eyes exports. Dark underbelly. Proliferation risks. Rogue states hack open source AI, birthing terror swarms. Climax builds to 2040 horizons. Hypersonic carriers launch AI jets at Mach 5. Penetrating A2, AD bubbles. Climate crises spawn drone forests for firefighting. Neural nets predicting blazes. Space. X-60 to descendants dogfight ASATs, securing orbits. Now the real question is, in a world where machines outfly, outfight, and outthink us, are we still masters of the sky or just passengers? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more stories unraveling the tech reshaping our world, hit subscribe because what's coming next will shock you even more.